Hey everyone, I'm Zeta4. I'm making this video to demonstrate a thing that I made. This guy, didn't mean to hit that button quite yet. Alright, let me flip my camera around. Apologies for the quality of all of this. It is my first time. There we are. Okay, so this is an MP3 jukebox. First I'll show, then I'll tell. So... So there are 30 different stations. These are all stations from Soma FM. It is a company out of San Francisco. They primarily have electronic and ambient, although there is a little bit of like... let me pop that so it doesn't time out. Let's see. There's 70s and 80s and alternative and metal. There's a, fair amount of stuff. However, the majority of it is mostly electronic. Right. So that button obviously toggles the menu. Hit play, choose your station, station title, the descriptor as given to me from Soma FM, and the genres. I recognize that genres are subjective, and some of these things are kind of stupid, but I didn't write them. I literally just took the data they gave me and stuck it up here. I also recognize that this is not going to be a cornucopia of stations that's going to appeal to everyone's tastes. As I said, this is just Soma FM. So that being said, I am working on something that will allow you to make your own custom jukebox. Basically provide your own tell commands, your own stream URLs, and then package it up however you see fit, and then my script will just take care of the actual playback. And then this functionality, which is kind of a good segue, so I can turn up, I can turn it down, I can toggle mute, of course I can hit play, but we're already playing, and then I can pause. So, here's the answer as to how. You take your head, and you just shove it in here. You'll see that this is a web screen, and it says, because you can't quite read it with all these objects, I didn't really think of that ahead of time. If you see this message in Anyland, please notify Zeta4. This should never be visible in world. Because that would mean that you're using the screen and not the buttons. Because the screen is ultimately just there to run the code in the background. So the page is running JavaScript, which is based on the URL that you send to it. So you'll notice there I've got the station name in the URL, and if I change stations, I change URLs. Which, this is how it synchronizes, is when these URLs change, Anyland automatically picks that up. You can see I was thinking about Manyland there. And synchronizes that across the clients. So just by nature of these URLs changing, you'll get that synchronization. The volume up and down, the mute, the play and pause, all of this is completely independent. I don't know who I'm looking at. It's dependent from everyone else, completely client-side, only applies to you. So if your volume is cranked up and somebody else's is turned way down, like you can totally exist in two different states. You can have yours pause, they can have theirs playing. The thing that will synchronize between the two of you is the station that you're playing. There we go. Alright, so station synchronize, volume and playback do not. That was a deliberate choice because I am not at all a fan of the fact that video volume is synchronized between players. This right here is supposed to be a ping indicator, in a manner of speaking, although it doesn't really work all that well. Let's see if... There we go. Okay, so what that does is this web page every 1 second is sending a command which then tells this to transition states. And the idea there is supposed to be that if you see this transitioning, then you know this web page has rendered. Because if that web page has not rendered, then that means you're not going to hear anything. Now, you could be in a situation where that web page did not render, and it did render for other people. That would mean that you don't hear it and they do. In that case, try reloading, or try maybe hitting this and then hitting refresh on the page, because that'll also restart it. Right. So there are a couple little bugs with this. One of which is that because of the way I nested these sub things when building this menu and then this object as two separate kind of projects, it gets a little weird with the web screens, and I'll just show you. Let's say I want to edit this object. So I context laser it, and because this is a screen, I get the web thing. So I go back. Okay, well that screen is a sub thing of the main body. So I naturally have to click that this is a sub thing of to get to the root object. But the root object is a screen, and now we just end up in a loop here. So if you want to edit this, you'll first have to stop scripts. Just make sure you turn that option back off when you're done. I just ran into that. Other than that, it seems to work pretty well now that I've got that URL bit hashed out. The nice thing too is any updates in the future can be made directly to the JavaScript on this page as opposed to the object. So in a manner of speaking, this thing will have continuous updates going on into the future. Of course, I'm not able to add like new stations and whatnot, because that requires modifying the object. That being said, I am going to be working on something where you're going to be able to edit your own stations. I think I already went over that, yes. This object also is fully clonable. This is going to be available in a place called... where the hell is it? Zeta's Jukebox with an apostrophe. That is where you'll find this thing. Fully clonable, have fun. Ping me if you have any problems. Well, don't ping me. Find me if you have any problems. I'm also on the Discord. I have the same name there. I'm Zetafor everywhere. Yeah. Enjoy, and be on the lookout for custom radios coming soon. Oh, also I forgot to mention one last thing. The volume level. The volume level is stored in a cookie, so anywhere that you go that is using one of my jukeboxes, it's going to remember the volume level that you had. So, for example, I'm going to turn the volume all the way down to 0. And then I'm going to delete the object, and I'm going to take out a new copy. And you're like, oh, what the hell, nothing's working. Well, yes it is. It just remembered that your volume is at 0. So anywhere that you go that is using one of my jukeboxes, it's going to have the volume level from the last time you interacted with one of my jukeboxes. The default volume level is 0.01 on a 0.00 to 1.0 scale, so it's relatively low in world. 1.0 is actually really quite deafening, so I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, that should be everything.